because there is the pakwa food, or rather, sorry, pakwa mala, which is formed and which resides in the pakwasha. Now, after the absorption, what happens? So, the first stage of metabolism is over. First stage of metabolism is digestion, which takes place in the gastrointestinal tract, and which occurs because of the function of Jatharagni. So, Jatharagni should include everything that is responsible for digestion. Okay, maybe the gastrointestinal hormones, maybe the enzymes in the stomach, maybe gastrin, maybe maybe secretin and gastrin, the hormones, gastrointestinal hormones, maybe the enzymes in the pancreas, maybe even the bile salts, right, which are responsible for which are helpful in the digestion of the fats, and then the enzymes in the small intestine, right? So pancreatic enzymes, trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxylase, cholesterol esterase, and so on and so forth. So all these gastrointestinal enzymes and gastrointestinal hormones, they are to be understood as the what happens? It absorbed, and that absorbed portion, rasa, right? Rasa, which then becomes rasa, of course. So, what happens to this rasa, ahara rasa? It is acted upon by bhutagni. So, bhaumyapyagneya vayvyaha panchoshmanaha sanabhasaha panchahara gunan swan parthivadin pachantihi yathaswam swamcha pushnanti dehe dravya gunaha pathak parthivaha parthivaneva sheshamsha kristhunashaha. So what does it mean? Bhauma apya agneya vayvya bhutagnis, and they act on the corresponding fractions of the food, right? That is, whenever you take the food, consume food, which it contains some parthiva amsha, some nabhasa amsha, some agneya amsha, some vayavya amsha, and so on, right? So these corresponding bhutagnis, they act on their corresponding substrates. So bhauma agni acts on bhauma fraction of the digested or absorbed material. So agneya agni acts on the agneya fraction of the absorbed material. The vayavya agni acts on the vayavya fraction of the absorbed food material. Okay, so this panchoshmanaha sanabhasaha, these 5 types of agnis, they act on the 5 corresponding substrates. Then what happens? Swan parthivadin. Swan means corresponding. Okay. Then yatha swam sumchapanti rehe dravya guna prathak parthivaha parthivaneva sheshamscha kristhunashaha. What does it mean? Parthaction can only nourish the parthiva tissue, right? Agneya fraction can only nourish the agneya tissue. For example, rakta, of course, it has got all panchamahabhutas, but dominantly it is dominant of Agni Mahabhuta. Okay, so it requires Agneya Amsha from the food. Similarly, Asthi is dominantly made up of Prithvi and Akasha Mahabhuta, right? So it requires Prithvi and Akasha for its nourishment. Okay, the muscles, for example, Mamsa, it is made up of Prithvi and Ap Mahabhuta. So it requires Prithvi and Apya Amsha. Okay, so this is the function of Bhutagni. It separates out the different substrates based on the dominance. Okay, then what happens? Then after the action of Bhutagni, there is Vipaka. This is how you have to understand, right? Vipaka happens after the action of Bhutagni, whereas Avasthapaka happens after the action of Jatharagni. So Jatharagni Paka leads to Avasthapaka, whereas this Bhutagni Paka leads to Vipaka. So Jatharena Agnina Yogat Yadudeti Rasantaram Rasanam Parinamante Sa Vipaka Smrtaha. So the term Jatharena Agnina, Jatharagni is appearing here, but what is the meaning of this? Jatharena Agnina Yogat Yadudeti Rasantaram. So there is transformation of rasa because of the action of Jatharagni. And then what happens? Rasanam parinamante. Once again, this transformed rasas, they undergo one more set of or one more step of transformation, and that is called vipaka. So this one more step of transformation is nothing but the bhutagni paka, which is indicative. It is not directly written as bhutagni, right? But it is indicative. If you read the tika of Ashtanga Hridaya, there are several tikas, right? One is Vagbhata Khanda Mandana, right? Vagbhata Khandana and Vagbhata Mandana, all right? Where one author says that whatever is written in Ashtanga Hridaya is wrong, whereas the other one, he supports whatever is written in Ashtanga Hridaya is correct. So there are two very interesting tikas. In Vagbhata Mandana you get this. So it is indicated that there are two sets of agnis which are indicated in this shloka, right? Jatarena Agnina Yogat Yadudeti Rasantaram. So this is first stage of action of Agni, right? Rasantara is formed, right? And then this Rasantara, the transformed rasas, they once again are acted upon by another set of Agnis. And this is called Bhutagni. That is why Rasana Parinamante Savipaka iti smrita. That's why what has been done is Professor P.V. Sharma, he simplified this shloka by replacing Jatarena Agnina with Bhautikena Agnina. He says it has to be read as Bhautikena Agnina Yoga Rasantaram, so that there won't be any further confusion. Irrespective of how it is read, but it has to be understood that there is role of Bhutagni at this stage. Yeah, this is how the change has been done by Professor P.V. Sharma. Then Vipakanam Lakshanam. Again, Vipaka has specific Lakshana. Katutikta Kashayanam Vipaka Prayasha Katuhu. Amlo Amlam Pachate Swadur Madhuraha Lamanastatha. Right? Then Shukraha.
Hello.
Shukraha Baddhavidmutram. Yeah.
Sir, no, sir, you weren't audible the slight time back, so.
Okay. So where
now it's fine, sir. Now it's fine.
Okay. So should I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Shukraha Baddhavidmutro Vipako Vatalaha Katuhu Madhuraha Srishtavidmutro Vipaka Kapashukralaha Pittakrita Srishtavidmutro Pako Amlaha Shukranashanaha Tesham Guru Syat Madhuraha Katuka Amno Ato Anyatha. So this is again this is indicative of Vipaka. So Vipaka again, some of the Vipaka is Vatala, another one is Shukrala, Kapala, one more is another thing. So there are three types of Vipaka and Katu, and this Vipaka is formed because of the action of Bhutagni. So this is something which is very important. So we completed two sets of actions of Agni, right? One is Jataragni, where the Avasthapaka is formed. The second set of Agnis is Bhutagni, where Vipaka is formed. Okay? So Dvividho eva Vipaka. According to Sushruta, there are only two Vipakas, right? Guru and Laghu. And they are also known as Madhura and Katu. So anyhow, we won't go into this debate, but we will be, it is better if you understand that Vipaka is the function, or Vipaka is the product of Bhutagnipaka. Okay? Then comes Dhatvagnipaka. So Saptabhir Deha Dhataru Dhatavu Dvividham Punah Yathaswam Agnibhi Pakam Yanti Kitta Prasadavatu. Saptabhi Deha Dhataru. Again, there are 7 dhatus and Dhatavu Dvividham Punah. So again, dhatus also undergo one more set of metabolism because of their corresponding agnis. Yathaswam Agnibhi Pakam Yanti Kitta Prasadavatu. So here it is the dhatu mala and this other dhatus are formed, right? Kitta and prasada. So prasadamsha is used for the nourishment of next dhatu. The kitta bhaga becomes the dhatu mala, right? So saptabhir deha dhataro dhatavo dvividham punaha yathasvam agnibhi pakam yanti kitta prasadavati. So this is how the Dhatvagni Paka acts, right? So Dhatvagni Paka becomes possible because of the action of Dhatvagni. So, in other words to say, there are three sets of Agni: Jaఠaragni, Bhutagni, Dhatugni. Jaఠaragni acts at the level of gut, the gastrointestinal tract. Dhatvagni acts at the tissue level or cellular level, right, for the nourishment of the respective dhatu. For example, if the food contains Prithvi and maybe Akasha and Vayu Mahabhutas, right? And of course, all Mahabhutas are present, but dominantly one or two Mahabhutas are present. And this is separated out because of Bhutagni. So Parthiva Amsha and Vayavi Amsha or Akashi Amsha are once again conjoined together, reassembled. So one is disassembly, second one is reassembly. Bhutagnis, they disassemble the constituents of the food. They separate out the Bhutagni, Bhuta fraction. Like Parthiva fraction is separated out. Apya fraction is separated out. Vayaviya fraction is separated out. But what do Dhatvagnis do? Dhatvagnis, they recombine, they reassemble, right? They take up, for example, Asthi Dhatvagni takes up Parthiva Amsha and Akashiya Amsha, and it forms Asthi Dhatu or maybe Vayu also, right? Similarly, this Mamsa Dhatu, Prithvi and Apabhuta are dominant. So it is required. So Mamsa Dhatvagni recombines this Prithvi and Apya Amsha, reassembles, and this leads to the nourishment of Mamsa Dhatu. So the dhatus get nourished. So Dhatu Poshana. So first stage is Jaఠaragni, which leads to Avasthapaka. Second stage is Bhutagni, which leads to this Vipaka. And lastly, Dhatvagni, which leads to Dhatu Poshana. Right? Somebody is playing with my slides. It makes me distracted. There are too many lines which have been drawn. Anyhow, Swasthanasthasya kayagnehe amsha dhatushu samshitaha tesham sadati diptibhyam dhatu vruddhikshayodbhavaha. What does it mean? Now, this is again further explanation of Dhatvagni. This is once again very interesting explanation. Swasthanasthasya kayagnehe. So Kayagni, though it is situated at its own site, its fractions are situated in different dhatus, and they are nothing but Dhatvagnis. Kayagnehe amshaha dhatushu samshitaha tesham sada atidiptibhyam dhatu vruddhikshayodbhavaha. Tesham sada and atidipti. Sada is diminished activity, atidipti is intensified activity, excessively intensified activity, right? So these Dhatvagnis, if their activity becomes dull or diminished, then what will be there? Then there will be Dhatu Vruddhi. And if they become over intensified, then what happens? There will be Dhatu Kshaya. So this relationship is inversely proportional. If Dhatvagni Sada or Dhatvagni Mandya happens, there will be abnormal Dhatu Vruddhi. If there is Dhatvagni Atidipti, there will be abnormal Dhatu Kshaya. This is something, again, very important and interesting. Now, how to understand this explanation in terms of digestion and metabolism? So Jaఠaragni, as I told you, it is responsible for digestion and leads to Avasthapaka. Bhutagni, preparatory phase, right? Intermediary metabolism. This is the function of Bhutagni. And Dhatvagni is cellular metabolism, right? Dhatu Poshana, right? Well, so if you read any good textbook of biochemistry, if you take any good textbook of biochemistry, our process of metabolism is classified into 3 stages, right? In human beings, the the entire metabolism has been classified into three phases. One is the digestion. It is also known as hydrolysis. Second is intermediary metabolism, preparatory phase, which is again related to Bhutagni and Vipaka. And lastly, cellular metabolism, the Krebs cycle. Actually, in modern textbooks of biochemistry, you will understand that three steps of metabolism have been explained. First is hydrolysis. Second is preparatory phase or intermediary metabolism. And third one is Krebs cycle. And if you understand this through Ayurveda, the first one, hydrolysis, is nothing but digestion, which takes place in the gastrointestinal tract. And it is because of Jatharagni, and which leads to Avasthapaka. Then second one is intermediary metabolism, which is equivalent to Bhutagni, right? Which leads to Vipaka. And lastly, Dhatwagni, which is equivalent to cellular metabolism, which leads to Dhatu Poshan or assimilation finally, right? And one more important explanation I missed. There is one more reference for absorption actually. Pakvah sarvashayam paschat dhamani bhi prapadyate. What's that? There is one more reference. Anyhow, I'm not able to recall it as of now. But where it is said that after Amashaya is crossed, right? Or rather from the Amashaya onwards, there is absorption of material into dhamanis. And then through these dhamanis, this ahara, digested ahara gets propelled or gets carried over into all parts of the body. Okay. So, what's the time? 5:48. So there are 5 to 10 more minutes. So maybe I can give you some examples. Maybe I'll close down my presentation and I will explain some of the interesting facts. Right? See, digestion of lipids or proteins or fats. Right? These are the three important constituents of the diet, right? Of course, water and minerals are also there, right? So after these are digested, right, there is digestion where you need several lipolytic, amylolytic, proteolytic enzymes, which are found in the gastrointestinal tract, maybe in the stomach, in the pancreatic juice, in the small intestine, and so on, right? So, and also there are gastrointestinal hormones, maybe gastrin, maybe cholecystokinin, maybe secretin, and so on. So all these function in carrying out the digestion. So after the digestion is over, what happens? There is intermediary metabolism. Mainly it takes place in the liver, where maybe urea cycle, maybe glycolytic pathway, or maybe beta oxidation pathway, right? See, oxidation of lipids leading to formation of acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A can be pushed into Krebs cycle at the tissue level, right? And again, it is used for the formation of ATP. Is it not? Similarly, the glucose undergoes glycolytic pathway and energy is formed. Okay, so this such many transamination, deamination in case of proteins, right? One amino acid getting converted into another amino acid, one keto acid getting converted into another amino acid. So all such transformations take place in the liver, right? Which is very nearer to what is explained as a Bhutagni. Okay, so that is called intermediary metabolism, right? Where different parts of Krebs cycle or different portions of Krebs cycle are formed. And finally, there is tissue metabolism or cellular metabolism, which is equivalent to a Krebs cycle, where acetyl coenzyme A enters the Krebs cycle, and ultimately there is ATP formation, and finally carbon dioxide and water are formed. Okay, so that is how the metabolism is explained in modern textbooks, and similarly there are three stages of metabolism which have been explained in Ayurveda also. And one more interesting thing is the relationship between Dhatvagni and Dhatu. For example, the thyroid hormones, T3, T4 levels, which when they are normal, what do? They're responsible for growth, right? Both sexual, mental, and physical growth. For all the normal growth, you need T3 and T4. But if they become excess, what happens? There will be all features of dhatukshaya, right? Hyperthyroidism. In hyperthyroidism, you get loss of weight, right? Increased temperature and so on and so forth. So the dhatvagni vruddhi leading to dhatukshaya is one. This is one typical example to say that yes, vruddhi of dhatvagni may lead to dhatukshaya. Similarly, hypothyroidism, where there is accumulation of abnormal materials in the subcutaneous tissue, leading to myxedema. Okay, so this is one typical example where you have decreased level of or decreased action of dhatvagni, but there is abnormal increase in dhatu. Okay, and yeah, there could be many such examples. Maybe bone metabolism, calcium metabolism, right? Vitamin D3, this calcitonin, and parathormone. These are the three important factors that are responsible for normal metabolism of bone. Okay, so osteoclasts and osteoblastic activity, right? That is how they are balanced. So in hyperparathyroidism, what happens? Parathyroid hormone, if it becomes excess, if it is optimal, normal bone growth will be there. But if it becomes excess, hyperparathyroidism, there will be mobilization of calcium from the bones. So excessive dhatvagni leading to dhatukshaya. Okay, so calcium mobilization from the bones and pathological fractures and other things can take place. There could be several such examples that can be given. That is how application of such concepts needs to be done. Maybe anything if I have left out, maybe what I'll do is I will share one of the websites where we have been posting several teaching materials or lectures related to various subjects of Ayurveda. Not only Kriya Sharir, there are many subjects or many lectures, mainly the video lectures. There are many hundreds of video lectures that are available on different topics of Ayurveda. This is the website. I'll share the link with you. That is called Ayurveda Network, ayurvedanetwork.bhu.com. And on this website, there are several lectures. Even there are many lectures of my own, right? The entire physiology of all systems has been made available there. So if you are interested, you can go through those lectures. Where is it? Yeah, I'll just paste the link. Yeah, this is the link. So if you want to go through several other subjects also, you will be able to get several good lectures by several experts from all over India, not only from BHU. There are several experts who are contributing. There are more than 50 experts to our website, and we have been developing this website since last 1 year. We have been working very hard, and of late, since last 3 months or so, we have been uploading at least one lecture per day. This is what is our target. So please go through this website, and yes, of course, if there are questions, they are most welcome. You are most welcome. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there are several questions.
Yeah.
So can we move on to this question, sir?
Sure, sure.
Okay, sir. Thank you sir, for your insightful session. The first question is, how do you relate the role of Ranjaka Pitta of Amasya in digestion?
Ranjaka Pitta is not related to, rather, see, Amashya Ashrayam Pittam Ranjakam Rasaranjanat. So it gives coloration or color to the rasa. Okay. So that is related to vitamin B12 absorption because, there is one reference. अति निसृत रक्तो वा क्षौद्रयुक्तं पिबेत असृक् यकृत्वा भक्षयेत आजम आमम पित्त समायुतम. Ranjaka Pitta, the site of Ranjaka Pitta is Amasya according to Vagbhata, whereas it is Yakrit and Pliha according to Sushruta, is it not? So this Yakrit is known to be having some important role to play in the formation of blood. Right? That is why Ati Nisruta Rakto va Kshaudra-yuktam pibet asrit yakritva bhakshayet ajam. The yakrit should be given in the cases of extreme blood loss and resultant anemia. And this observation actually fetched Nobel Award in 1932 or 33 to three scientists, Whipple, Minot and Murphy. They were awarded with the Nobel Award for their discovery that the liver can cure this pernicious anemia. Okay, so that is the role of stomach and liver in metabolism, especially in relation to blood. Otherwise, as long as digestion is concerned, the Ranjaka Pitta doesn't have role. But yes, the Malaranjaka Pitta gives normal color to the stools. That is the only function. This is what is my understanding. Next question, please.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, Bhutagni can be correlated to which digestive enzyme and what can be the site of Bhutagni?
Yeah, Bhutagni, the site of Bhutagni has not been explained, right? Only that its a level of action has been explained after the Jatharagni, but before Dhatvagni. This is the sequence. Sequence have been clearly explained in Charaka Samhita, right? So it is always first Jatharagni, next Bhutagni, and lastly Dhatvagni. Jatharagni acts in the Jathara, that is gut. Dhatvagni acts in the tissue level, Dhatu. So in between this, there is Bhutagni. So that is why the intermediary metabolism mainly takes place in the liver, but also it can take place in some other tissues as well. That is why many more tissues, and especially the liver, where the intermediary metabolism takes place, that has to be taken or considered as the site of Bhutagni. This is not only my view. There are several previous authors, scholars who have presented this view, especially Professor P.V. Sharma. Yes, next one.
So the next question is, what is the reference for the color of Rasadhatu?
Rasasya chana rago asti, Charaka Chikastha 15th chapter.
Okay, sir. Can I move on to the next question?
Yeah, please.
So how the doshas formed during Jataragni Paka becomes the same Dhatumala Rupi doshas formed because of Dhatu Agni Paka?
Pardon? Could you repeat it?
How the doshas formed during Jataragni Paka becomes the same Dhatumala Rupi doshas formed because of Dhatu Agni Paka?
Actually, well, this is a very good question. During Jataragni Paka, these doshas are not formed. They are only released. They are formed during Bhutagni Paka. Oh, sorry, this Dhatwagni Paka. All these Dhatu Malas are formed during Dhatwagni Paka only. Okay? But they are released during Avastha Paka. So during Avastha Paka, they are not formed. They are released. Yeah. Next question, please.
Hello, sir. The next question is, where Bhutagni Paka takes place, correlation in modern physiology, sir?
I just answered it. I just answered the question. Yeah. The liver and other tissues have to be considered as Bhutagni Paka.
Okay, sir. In fasting, muscle glycogen is broken into glucose. Is there any such context where dissenting dhatu are broken to form rakta or rasa? Hello,
Yeah. Uh,
sir.
yeah. Once again, could you please repeat it?
Yes, sir. In
Interesting question.
fast,
Yeah.
yes, sir. In fasting, muscle glycogen is broken to glucose. Is there any such context where dissenting dhatu are broken to form rakta or rasa?
Descending dhatus, right?
Yes, sir.
Descending. Yeah. I don't think so. Only in case of kshaya, the reversal anuloma kshaya and pratiloma kshaya have been explained. Otherwise, no such explanation is found in Ayurvedic textbooks. As long as my memory goes, of course, my memory is very limited. So maybe I'm not able to answer this question. I'm sorry. I'll look for this answer. This is a very interesting question. Thank you. Next question, please.
Next question. Ayurvedic physiology of gas formation or gas trouble.
Well, see, Vayu, flatus, if it is, this is meant by Vayu or gas in this case. The Vayu actually, yeah, Katu Bhavataha, Avasthapaka is this, the instance where Vayu is formed, Malarupi Vayu, and that represents the Katu, that is pungent gases, like maybe hydrogen sulfide or maybe ammonia, because in the gut microbiota, you know that several these gases are formed, especially ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. So this is how the flatus is formed, right? But gastric trouble is something which is often used to indicate the hyperacidity or acid peptic disease, which is again related to amla pitta and maybe another shula or maybe ajirna, and there are several other clinical uh, uh, diseases or maybe clinical presentations where this gastritis kind of things are presented. But gas formation, if it is related to flatus, then it is this katu avasthapaka, and which is where the vayu is formed. Ahara mala rupi vayu is formed. Next question.
So next question is, in Avasthapaka, if Malarupi disharmony are formed, then what are the Prakrita doshas?
Yeah, Prakrita doshas are formed at the end of Vipaka. That's why after Vipaka, again, there are three Vipakas: Madhura Vipaka, Amla Vipaka, and Katu Vipaka. After Madhura Vipaka, Kapha is formed, Kapha Shukralaha. Amla Vipaka, Pitta is formed, Katu Vipaka, Vata is formed. So at two stages, the same thing cannot be formed. So that is why at the actual Prakrita doshas are formed at the end of Vipaka, and the Malarupi doshas are released during the Avasthapaka. This is how I understand, and this is based on the commentary by this Jalpakalpataru commentary by Gangadhar Roy. Next question, please.
So the next question is, can we consider dosha as Vaikrita doshas? That is the concept of Prakrita and Vaikrita doshas.
No, doshas need not be always Vaikrita, right? Doshadhatu malamulam hi shariram, right? So doshas are essential fractions. When they become, when there is some imbalance between the doshas, then only they are called doshas. Otherwise, they are also called dhatus. Is it not? The term dhatu can be used even to indicate doshas. So when they are normal, they perform the functions like dhatu. But when they become abnormal, then they become doshas. So Prakrita doshas and Vaikrita doshas, they are two different, not two different entities, same entities, but within the stage of, within the physiological limits, they are called dhatus. And when they exceed that normalcy, then they become doshas. Of course, this term dhatu is a bit confusing. That's why we use dosha only, right? Otherwise, it may indicate sapta dhatus also. To avoid this, we use dosha. The term dosha is used even to indicate the normal dosha. Yeah, next question, please.
So the next question is, please elaborate the digestion and metabolism of all forms of our medicine and expectancy of action.
All forms of medicine, aushadha dravya.
Like so formulations like.
Formulations, different formulations. Oh, it is difficult to explain as such, right? This whatever is explained in this lecture is related to food, digestion of food and metabolism of food. It is under physiology that I explained, right? Maybe you need to invite some Dravya Guna expert or pharmacologist to explain the vipaka of dravyas, right? Again, that is why the dravyas have been explained to be having specific vipaka. And based on this vipaka, we understand the action of that herb, right? Each herb has got some vipaka. That is why, that is the action. I mean, through this vipaka, we can understand or infer the action of the herb on the different systems. But beyond this, I, in this lecture, cannot explain this because I'm not an expert, basically.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. The last question is, can we relate Pachaka Pitta with HCl that released in stomach during digestion?
Yeah, of course. I mean, all such things, maybe HCl, maybe gastrin, maybe cholecystokinin, secretin, pepsin, chymotrypsin, trypsin, everything. I mean, all sets of enzymes and all mechanisms in the gut, within the gut, that are responsible for digestion. They can be included under Pachaka Pitta. There is no doubt about it. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are thankful for your insightful session on digestion and metabolism, sir.
Thank
Now,
you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I enjoyed this lecture. Yeah, especially the questions were very, very intriguing and really they were insightful. Thank you.
Okay, sir. I would like to welcome Dr. Surabhi ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It is my great honor and privilege to extend vote of thanks in this occasion. It was really a great evening spent by sharing knowledge and enlightening each other. First, I would like to thank wholeheartedly Dr. Kishore Patwardhan sir for taking time from his busy schedule and spend time with us sharing his knowledge. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I would like to thank all the members working behind SAMSIDDHI. All their efforts have really paid off. Once again, on behalf of the entire Ayurveda College Coimbatore family, I would like to thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, delegates. The next session, Nidana and Chigilsa with illustrations by Dr. Nisha Kumari will be resumed after the break of 15 minutes. Thank you all. We'll meet after 15 minutes.